Hi everyone, Sandy here. Welcome to my YouTube channel and to my design team project for Country Craft Creations using Authentique's Love Notes paper collection. I'm going to run through real quick what I'm using for this project. We're going to be making a little quick and easy album without any cardstock. Now, I'm going to go out and say that this design that I'm doing, it's an old binding system. I have a prototype album here that I did first. It's open back, and the pattern papers are the actual spine and the pages. So you can see them in there. So you can see the colors. But some papers will crack, and that's going to give you the shabby look. So I'm going to call this a shabby chic type album. Also, the chipboard, we do have chipboard covers, but we wrap it instead of cardstock with the pattern paper, so you may experience some cracking. If you don't like cracking and you don't want that shabby look, then I suggest you do your project all in cardstock and then just add your pattern paper mats, your pretty paper mats. So this is what we're going to be making. This, like I said, is the prototype. It's a, I think, what is this, a 6 by... turn my ruler correctly, it's a 6.5 by 6.5 square. Now we're doing a Valentine one, so we're going to be using lots of ribbons and maybe some laces, so pearls, different kind of blings. So you just pull out whatever you have in your stash. But this is the products that I'm going to be using from Country Craft Creations. So of course I've got 2 chipboards. These are the 8.5 by 11 that you can order from Country Craft Creations. And I'm going to cut these down to size for the 2 covers. We don't need a spine. And then I am going to use ribbon from Country Craft Creations. I may add to that, add some lace that I have. I have this real pretty sheer dotted lace. And then I have some red button twine that I love, some red seam binding, and this pretty pink with the stitching, white stitching lace. So that's going to all be added in to my album. And then the papers that I'm going to use 3 of the... I didn't get all of the collection in the 12 by 12, so I'm going to use 3 patterns for the pages. I haven't picked yet which is going to be the cover. And then I also have the stickers, the details sticker sheet, and then I have 2 cut aparts in that. So that's what we're going to work with, that you can order from Country Craft Creations. Again, this is Authentique's Love Notes collection. So, and I believe it's called Love Notes. Yeah, it's all Love Notes, and then the pages are numbered. Like this is Love Notes 2, and then we have Love Notes 4, so we have the different patterns that you can use for this project. So let's get started. Okay, I have my papers for my cover and pages cut in my chipboard. So I did cut one of the cut aparts. I was able to save 2 of them on this sheet, but I really wanted to use these heart flags for my cover. And then since my pages are 6 inches tall, you're able to get 2 out of a page, out of a 12 by 12. So you need 1, 2, 3, because you get a half of this one, 3, 4, 5 patterns to make the pages and wrap the cover. Chipboard is cut to 6.5 by 6.5, so you need 2 6.5 by 6.5 chipboard for the covers. You need 2 8.5 by 8.5 pattern paper to wrap the covers, and you're going to need 5 6-inch tall. Make sure you're paying attention to your pattern direction. 6-inch tall by 12 inches wide for the pages. Okay, so we're going to work on this part first. So let me move the pages out of the way, and we're going to wrap our covers. Remember, this doesn't have a spine because it is an open back little album. So I want this side to be my cover and this side to be my cover. So I'm going to turn these upside down, and I'm going to just glue these. If you have the score tape sheets, they work great. And I'm going to grab my scoreboard and my chipboard guide strips. So these are 1 inch wide, but 12 inches long. I'm just going to place them right here, like that. Now you take your paper that you're going to use to wrap, and you're going to put it underneath these guides. So put the paper in all the way, paste your guide over them, and this is going to give your placement for these. Instead of the score tape sheets in this one, I am going to use my glue. Now this little album, I say that you can assemble it probably fairly easily within an hour or two. Then you can take the day to create your pockets, any extra flaps that you want on the inside, and decorate it. So realistically, you could probably get this done in a day if you work continuously, you know, taking some breaks for lunch or dinner and family breaks or what have you. You could do that and still get it done. So I'm putting a good amount of glue over all of it where I'm going to place it down, and then we're just going to push it up there, and this will give me an inch all the way around for wrapping. And that way, once you see how we assembled the book, we do not have to put a paper on the inside of the cover. So there's that. So it's ready to be wrapped, which you will fold up against your chipboard like that. And then you will use score tape or glue, which I will probably use glue. So we'll set that one aside. Let's grab our other one. I know it's sad to see these go bye-bye, but I still have a whole sheet of other cut aparts, and I have 2 of these left that I can use. So I'm going to place this down here like that so we get the glue on it. And again, just press it up against there. Nice and straight. Okay, we're done with these. Turn this over and burnish. And I'm going to go ahead and fold these up. Okay, now they're ready to be attached down. So let's go ahead and do this one since we have it here. We're going to do two opposing sides first. And the first thing we're going to do is miter cut the corners. Yeah, grab my scissors. Almost forgot that. You can do whatever method you like. If you like just cutting out the corners, like Tamara with Country Craft Creation does, or if you want to do the angle cutter if you have a tool. So I'm just going to eyeball it and cut across about 1/8 of an inch from the tip. From the tip of your chipboard. Okay, now we're ready to attach it down. Since this is a square, it doesn't matter where you start. I'm just going to do the 2 opposites. Put a line of glue right along the edge of the chipboard on your paper. And then add your glue. And burnish that down. Turn it and do the opposite side, same thing. A bead of glue along the top edge of the chipboard onto the paper, and then the rest of the flap. Bring it over and burnish it down. Okay, now we're ready to wrap the other sides. So where this is sticking over, if you cut it out 1/8 of an inch, let me see if I stay in the light. Right here, you see it sticking over right here. You're going to want to push that down and bring it in like that so that it's not going to be stuck out. So I just take my bone folder and kind of do a curve in fold. And then I'm going to check it and see if I need to trim just a tiny bit off, because I want it kind of like a point right there. So That one's good, maybe just a little bit. Okay. This one. And that one. Okay, now we're ready for the glue on these other two. Same thing. And make sure it burnishes down good. And the last one. Okay, so that's one cover. This could be the front or the back. I haven't decided yet. So we're going to set this aside. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one off camera. It's done exactly the same. You see your nice wide margin here. So when we attach our pages in, this is what you're going to see. So you don't have to add any more paper to this cover. So set that aside, and then I'm going to work on this one off camera. There they are, both covers wrapped and ready. So just set them aside, and we'll grab our scoreboard. So we're going to need to do some scoring. So we'll move them. Okay, for our pages, we're ready to score it. So remember, you had 5 6-inch tall by 12 inches wide. So we make sure your directional patterns are going the correct way. So you want, this is the top, 6 inches the height, and so you want your patterns going that way. These have already been scored, but I am going to show you how to do it. So we're going to take, remember, the pages and your scoring for your spine and binding is on these pages, on this pattern paper. It's not going to be as strong an album as when it's done with cardstock and the hidden hinge and that type of thing. This is a different type of hinge and binding. This is an old type of binding. It's been used for a long time, where you attach page to page to page, and it's open on, it's left spine left open on the back, or you can put a cover over it if you wanted to. So this is a little bit different album. It's quick and easy to make. It's fun for a little gift. You know, it's not your big albums that you're going to be making with a lot of pockets and flips and that. You can add some in this, but just not a whole bunch, not like you do with a cardstock album. So for this, for the spine, you need a bone folder or something to score with. This is a Cricut tool that I like to score with. You don't want it super sharp. You don't want to poke into your pattern paper. And this is the Authentique paper, so it's really strong paper, but sometimes it will crack, so you don't want to score heavy-handed. And what I like to do is do one score, one pass, just gentle, you know, just gentle pressure, not super heavy, but you want it. So I'm doing this at 5 3/4, and I do it a couple of times. This more steady, don't dig in, don't push way down, because you're going to cut through. So you do a 5 3/4, skip over a quarter, and you're going to do the same at 6. So do a couple of passes at 6. And I know it's hard to see here on this pattern paper what you have scored. Skip another quarter and score at 6 1/4. You're going to do the same on all 5 of your 6-inch by 12-inch pattern paper pieces that you've cut for your pages. So we've got that. Now if you turn it over where the ridge is, if you can see it better. This is going to be, and I forgot to say, when you're scoring, you want to score on the side that you want to see in your book. This one I want to see for this page, because these are going to be glued and you're not going to see the back. So when you flip it over, you're going to see those little grooves, and you can just go ahead, and you don't have to burnish these really hard. Just do it with your hands, all 3 lines. Somehow I got an extra one in there. What did I do? I only want the center one here. See where they match up? That's your 6-inch one. And then you want one on each side at 1/4. And so I'm just going to gently, and it's not going to stay folded like that because you see how it's offset. And we do it again. So I think I did an extra score line right there. So pay me no attention. I'll show you on another piece to make sure. So then I go back to that center one and get it lined back up. So that's my page. And so you have this kind of bending with the 3 score lines. So this one's scored, but I'm just going to show you again just to be sure. This is the side that I want to see. So I put that one down with it facing up. 12 inches across the top. Look at your scoreboard. You're going to score at 5 3/4, 6 and 6 1/4. Now I'm only scoring once because I've already done the several passes, so I don't want to overdo that. And again, you're just going to kind of fold it on all 3 score lines. And it's usually easier to do the center one first and then the other 2, but there it goes. Really easy. This is our pages. And then we're going to go ahead and make some pockets and things for these. So these are going to stack together. And I'm going to go ahead and fold all these up, and then I'll get my supplies together that I want to use to make our pockets, because each page will be a pocket. You can do the side or you can do the top pocket. It's kind of whatever you want to do. I'm going to show you how to do them, and then you can put as many as you want, or you can do the style that you like. So there's that page there. And these are going to be kind of a loose type album. It's just a different method. I know you're familiar with all the other stronger binding methods, hinges, but this one I think is just a lot of fun. And with that shabby look, if it cracks, I'm fine if it cracks. If it cracks a little bit, I just add a little bit of ink to it and kind of make it look a little more shabby. And I'm perfectly happy. And then usually when I want it to crack, it won't, right? But anyway, of course, the more you fold it and the more you score it, it's going to crack. But I don't want it to tear, so if that makes sense. I don't want any tearing to go on with these pages. So again, remember, you're going to fold it, score it so that you can see. Since I already have the cupids on one, then I wanted this one to be the one that shows on this one. And here's the last one here. I'm going to go ahead and fold it up, which I had already done, and get my hinge. So that is what's going to be showing once we put this all together. We're going to do our pockets and things first. So once you put them together, that's going to be our spine area, right, like that. So that's going to be what is going to show. Isn't that pretty? Because you can see the pattern papers. That's what's going to show once we assemble our album, kind of like this. Anyway, you kind of get the idea, like that. So you see how it all is covered on the inside. So it's going to be really cute when we get it done, and we're going to bling it up and put lace and doilies and all things for Valentine's in it and have a lot of fun. So I'm going to go ahead and plan out my pockets and inserts, and then we'll work on that. So I've planned out my pockets and tag pockets and inside page pockets and different things, and have notes here. I've already pre-cut mine, and I'm going to share with you what all I have done. So I keep a notebook where I keep my notes so that I try to get things. This is just notes of what I thought I would do and then what I actually did. So the first pockets, we're going to have 2, And these will actually go inside. Now, I did not have enough of the 12 by 12 paper from the Authentique Love Notes collection to use. I wanted to make most of my pockets that go between the pages that you can't see, but I still wanted them to be out of patterned paper. So if you're wanting all of yours to be the same collection, I suggest that you order 3 or 4 extra pages of the pattern paper from the collection you're using. I went into my stash and I had some single sheets of Valentine paper from other collections left from prior years, so I pulled a couple of those out, and that's what I'm going to use for the inside. So these are not Authentique, these are a different pattern. You can use cardstock if you wanted to. This is a sample one out of cardstock. It's going to be a little heavier, but that would be fine. You could use any kind of extra leftover papers that you have to put this together. So I'm going to explain that in just a bit. But the size of these two pieces, you want to cut them to 6" by 6½. This one's already done. So this one I'll score with you so that you can see what I've done. Take your 6½ side, put it in the top of your scoreboard, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. And again, don't be too heavy-handed on this. You don't want to cut it. And at 6. Then I want you to turn so that your 6" side is at the top, and you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, so it really doesn't matter which side is on the inside, but you're more likely to see the inside part. So go ahead and fold your score lines, and you can burnish these a little bit more than the spine folds that we did earlier. So go ahead and get that. Take your scissors, and down here where they meet, you're going to do an angle cut to cut that corner out, okay? So you want to do that on both pieces. We're going to go ahead and cut all of our pieces that I have here. I'm going to show you all of it, and then we will start putting them on our pages. So this is one that's already done. So I have this one, and I have this one. And like I said, you're only going to see like the edge of it on the inside, because this is going to be glued to the back of the pages, which will be sandwiched between each page as it's assembled. So this, we have 2 of the full size, that, and then the next one we're going to make, I'm calling a tag page pocket. This will also go in between the pages. So the tag page pocket is this bigger size. This holds a bigger tag, but not a full page tag or photo mat. So this one's already done. We want 3 of these. So this is another pattern paper from my stash that does not go with the collection. And this, of course, was the Authentique Spectrum in the gray. It's called Silver Dollar. So I went ahead and used one of these to show you. It is going to be a little thicker, but it will work. So you could use cardstock. This is a sample one I made out of cardstock. So if you wanted to do cardstock instead and then just line this little bit that you might could see, that would work too. But I'm going to try to do most of mine out of pattern paper if I can. So you take these, you cut 3 5½ by 5½ square. So you're going to put one 5½ inch side in at the top. We're going to score it 5 inch, 1/2 inch, turn, and make one 1/2 inch score across the bottom side of the pocket. Go ahead and fold that up so you can see. And since this one's already done, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to open this up, and where those lines are at, the intersecting score lines, you're going to cut at an angle. Just like this. It's a little hard to see sometimes, so you just have to turn it in the light. So then when it folds up, it takes away some of that bulk there in that corner. Just like that. So this one's done. This will be done the same way. We're going to put the 1 5½ inch. It's a square, so it doesn't matter. It just depends on which way you want your patterns to go. Score it 5 inch, 1/2 inch, turn, and score it 1/2 inch across the bottom. Now, if this was a pattern that was directional, it would make a difference where your bottom is, where you're going to put it in your book. You will see that on the pockets that go on the inside of the album that you will actually see. These you will not see. These are just something to insert your tags in between your pages. So let's go ahead and cut this one. And this one. So we have 3 of these. We're going to lay these aside. We're going to be using these once we start assembling that book. We're going to create little tuck spot tag pockets. So you need 6 cut at 4.5 wide by 3.5 tall. So you want your patterned direction to be going along the 4.5 wide. So you want it, this is the correct direction. If you'll see on your hearts and things, so you want that correct. You want 2 of each pattern to match. If that's the way you want to do it. That's the way I prefer to do it, 2 to match. So these will go on a double spread, this double spread facing each other, and these will be facing each other. So you have 6 total, 2 of 3 different patterns. And then we're going to score. This one's already done. So as you see when it folds up. Now what you have to pay attention to with these directional patterns, this one is made to go on the right side, page on the right, and this one has been scored to go on the left side, which means you always want the bottom fold to be towards the center, towards the spine of the book. So this one here, we scored it at, I put the 3.5 in first, I scored it at 3. And turn it completely around and scored, or you can just leave it in and score it a 1/2 inch on the other side. That's your top and bottom. And then I made sure that I turned it upside down so that I was getting my score on the 4.5 inch side, scored at 1/2 inch. So these you cut, and I will show you doing 2 of them so that you understand what I mean about making sure you're scoring on the correct side. Now this one you don't have a score line, so you're just going to angle cut right here and right here, and then we're going to cut where the double intersects like this. So it should look like this when you've got it cut, and then we're going to fold all of these in just like that. So you have this little pocket. So it's open. This one is open. Did it right. Let's see. This one will be open to the outer page, sealed folds towards the end spine. As a fold to the spine on this side, so it'll be open on the outer edge, and you'll see that better when we're doing it. So let me take one that hasn't been completely done yet, both of them, and show you how to do that. So you have these cut the same way. So your directional pattern. So you have your 4.5 and your 3.5 going up and down. So take one with up here at the top. You're going to score at a 1/2 inch on the left side. You're going to turn and score 1/2 inch or at 3 for the bottom. Oops, make sure it's in the right place. 3 at the bottom and a 1/2 inch for the top. So there you have that score on the left side. The other one, put it in upside down for this first score. Put the 4.5 in upside down and score at a 1/2 inch. Then you can turn it and score at 3 inch on the bottom and 1/2 inch at the bottom on the top and 3 inch on the bottom. So the 3 inch score over here, and that gives you a 1/2 inch on each one. And so this one now, put your 1/2 inch here on the opposite side. So the two had the 1/2 inch ones face each other towards the spine of your album. So now we're going to go ahead and miter cut our corners. This one's just a cut here. From the fold, just cut a little angle. And this one we're going to cut out that square. And so this one the same way. Let's cut out, angle cut out the square. And then these are just going to be cut from the score line at an angle. And you fold them up. Oops, wrong end. Fold these sides up, the long ones up. And then this little one here. It's just making like a little coin envelope type thing. So we have the next two pieces here. I'm going to put this one in at 4.5 at the top, right side up. This is the top, the pattern. You see it going this way. I want you to score at a 1/2 inch, turn, and score at the 3.5 inch side at 3 and at a 1/2. Now then, that's the one we did with the right side up. The next one you're going to take and put the 4.5 piece upside down, score at a 1/2 inch, turn, and score at 3 and a 1/2. So you have 3 score marks. Then you're going to fold those in. Where you have the 2 lines meeting, score lines meeting, we're going to angle cut that square out. This is where I messed up a while ago. This one we're just going to angle cut. This one I ended up with an extra score line from earlier. I'm going to take that out. We're just going to angle cut. There's no square coming out, just angle cut. Turn it and angle cut. So that when it's folded, we have this. That's the one that goes right there. So turn it wherever which way you can see it the best. We're going to angle cut out the squares where the 2 lines, score lines meet. And then we're going to come down here, and I'm going to fold this up so we can see it better. And you can use whichever pattern you want. So I may change mine before I'm done. It depends on the pages that I'm putting it in. But here where the top is, you want to put your scissor on that score line and just do a little angle cut. Right here. That's what I did wrong a while ago, is I cut it in the wrong place. So now this one goes like this, and we have them both in the right direction, and we have the folded bottom one right here in the center, and it's open on each end. So maybe that's more, explains it a little bit better. So those are done. Now you can do bigger, smaller pockets, whatever you wish. I'm working with mine with the papers that I have, so things are going to get a little bit smaller. So these I'm calling tuck spots. I've got 2 different sizes. I've got 2 of this size and 2 of this size, because this is the scraps that I had left. So this one here is 3.5 by 3. Cut 2 that are 3.5 by 3. And we're going to score the 3-inch side right there at a 1/2 inch. 3-inch side at a 1/2 inch. Did I already get that one? 3-inch side at a 1/2 inch. So one of these is going to be the same way. We've got to reverse it. 3-inch side, I put the top of it with the patterns that you see here at the top, scored at 3.5, and then we're going to turn it and score the bottom at a 1/2 inch. So we have that and that, but with the correct direction. The other one, the second one, we're going to score the 3.5 inch side, but we're going to put it in upside down. So the image is upside down, okay? And we're going to score it 1/2 inch, turn it, score it 1/2 inch on the bottom so that when it folds up, the directions are correct. See if I folded it wrong. This one goes this way. The directions are correct, but it's open on one side and got it closed on the other opposing. So they're like that, kind of mirrored. If you turn them over, you can see it better this way. Okay, so those two. And then we do 2 that I cut. I've already done 1. 2 we cut 5 inches. We do 5 inches wide by 2 3/8 tall. 5 inches wide by 2 3/8 tall. So this one's already been done. Depending on which side you're going. This is the up side. So I put the top of the 5 inch at the top, so that I'm seeing the direction this way. I'm going to score it 1/2 inch, turn, score the bottom at a 1/2 inch, and then we miter cut this corner out. And I'm also going to cut from the score line here, so we have this flat. Okay, these are what I'm calling tuck spots, so we want to do the other one as well. We're going to put this one in upside down, which I can only see that on the back side, so it's upside down. Put the 5 inch in at the top, score it 1/2 inch, turn, and score the bottom at a 1/2 inch. We're going to take this, we're going to angle cut out the square. There's 2 score lines. And then on the opposite side here, I'm going to fold it so that I can see it good. I'm going to do an angle cut here. So I have that flap and this one here. Okay, so there's that. If it goes the other way, I think we'll see. There we go. So there's those 2 tuck spots, and again, once I fold them up, you will see that the closed up side goes to the center. If you flip it over, you're going to see it like that. Okay, so that's all of those for now. We'll do our tags and things later, so we're going to get ready to assemble. So I'm going to move things out of the way, and we'll get ready to do that. Grab your pages and put them in the order that you want them to be. So this is how I'm going to do mine. So this is the first one. I'm going to take my front one, and I'm flattening down these score lines so that the edges, the center one is the fold, and the edges meet over there. So this is the front. Look at your direction. This will open up. That's the inside. We turn it over so that the opening is to the left. You're going to grab one of these larger pockets that we made. The largest one, finished size, is 5.5 by 5.5. Now, you decide where you want the opening to be. I want mine to be on the side. You can do a top opening or a side opening. I'm going to do a side opening. And I want it fit right along the cut edge here on the left, so the fold edge of it does not go over any of my spine score lines. It's hard to see, but my score line is right there. So I've cut it so that they fit pretty well within that area. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put glue on these flaps, pocket flaps, on the back side where they're folded in. Put glue on all three. And since I want it opening this away, this is my folded spine, this is my cut edge. So I'm going to put it to the cut edge, make it flush, and I'm going to center it. So I'll have about the same amount, like about a 1/4 inch top and bottom. And then I'm going to burnish it down and make sure it did not go over my score line. Cut it correctly, it is not going to go over. Even though you can't see your score line, it is not going to go over. Now, you will not see any of this once it's assembled, but you can see inside, just a little bit. You can punch a slot here if you want. We'll do all that later. So this is the first page. Second, third, fourth, and this is the last one. So for this one, I've got it flattened down. I want my opening to the right. Fold is over here. I'm going to grab this other pocket, the large one, same size as before, and again, I want it opening to the cut edge, not towards the spine. So I'm going to reverse it, turn it this way. I've burnished all my hinges. I'm just doing a double check here to make sure they're nice and flat. And I'm putting glue on all three flaps. And this one here I didn't cut off. I missed this one. There we go. So I'll put some more glue back there where I touched it. So I want my cut, my opening this way. I'm going to lay this down and get it flush to the cut edge of the page so that it's about a 1/4 inch from the top and the bottom. And we'll burnish that down. And again, none of this will be seen, only the inside bit. Okay, so that's the last page. That's the 2 full page pockets that go between the pages. So now we're ready for the next tag page pockets that go between the pages. So there's 3 of those this size. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so these are the ones finished when they're folded up, measure 4.5 by 5. Okay, so now we're going to put these on the other pages. So let's see, this one already has one. So these are going to glue down. So we need one here on the back of this one, back of the second one. And you decide which direction you want your tags to go in and out. So I have 3 of these. I think I will do 2 up and 1 to the side. So make sure they're burnished. The flaps are burnished down so they're folded up. And I think I'm going to put this one. So you see I have the fold of the page to the right. Slide this one out of the way. Fold of the second page to the right. And if I want this to open to the top, I'm going to center this at the top. It's going to be shorter here, but that's okay because I don't want the tag to go all the way. So I'm going to put my glue on these flaps on the back. And again, this was made out of a piece of paper that is left from an older collection. It's not the same collection that you're actually going to see. So you want to line this up so that it's flush at the top, right there. You don't want it over your score lines of your spine, and you want to burnish this down. Again, we're not going to see this once it's assembled. You're just going to see inside. And not very much, but you can see that inside. So we'll do that like that. And flip this over. So this is page 2. Let's take page 3, the back side of it. I'm going to make this a side one. Burnish these down to make sure they're flat. So this one, I've got the spine to my right. I'm going to put it to this cut edge right here. Just like that. It's going to be centered away, and it's not going to go over those score lines. So put your glue on. This is my opening here towards the cut side of the page, and just center it. I mean, if you feel more comfortable measuring and marking, you can do that. I just eyeball and get it down. So burnish this one really well. This is heavier paper. This is the Spectrum. So make sure I really burnish those flaps, the glue. So that's page 3. So, and also pay attention that you're putting these correctly with the up and down. Don't do it upside down. Page 4. Put your fold to the left, so your score lines are here, and we're going to do this as a top one. So it's going to be like that. Now if you want the stripes showing, I think I'm going to change it so that I've got my stripes showing. Let me re-burnish this. I want the stripes on the inside. I wish I'd done that on the other one, but it'll be okay. But this one we're going to do with the stripes. So you can switch them around to whichever paper you want to see, but remember the one that's on the inside is what you're going to see more likely. Okay, so this one, put the glue on it. So just going to line it up at the top and center it here. And burnish down. So these are our pockets that sandwich between our pages, and you won't see them. So now we have that like that, and we're ready to add some of the other pockets and tuck spots. Take your first page. Now you can put your tuck spots and tag pockets anywhere you want to in your album. This is just the order that I'm going to do it. Take your first page, so you want to make sure this is on the back. And pay attention to your direction and open it up on the inside. Now what I did, because it's so hard to see these score lines, you don't have to mark the center one, but I just took a pencil and held this up, folded on that first one, and just kind of got me a rough pencil line that I can erase once I'm done, so that I can see where to put these. Now you want to remember that this one, you want your fold towards the center, and you don't want it to go over your score line, and you want the fold of this one this way. Now you determine where you want to put your little pockets. So I'm going to offset mine like this. Now you can put it flush to the bottom, or you can move it up a bit if you like. You can still have room for a photo there. So I'm just going to flip it over and put my glue on the back side of the flaps. So this is going to go here, just up to the fold line, and I put it about 1/4 inch from the bottom here. So this one we want to burnish. This is where the opening is. That's where tag's going to go. And this one I closed it up completely so it does not have a tuck spot, but we'll do something different with that. And I'm going to try to remember to show you on another one, leaving it open at the top so that you can tuck some photo mats in there. So this one, I'm going to place it about 1/4 inch from the top and along that score line. Don't go over it. And burnish. Now, if you had wanted to, you could have punched the edges. I did not. That is page 1. We got places for photo mats and other decoration, but this is the basic right here. This is the page set 1 with our pocket on the back that's going to be covered up. So now we're going to lay this one aside, and let's grab page 2. So page 2 is going to be, of course you got your pocket on the back here, so you want to make sure your direction, you got your hearts going up like this. And I like these little tuck spots here, which you can put right here on the edge, like that. And I'm probably going to decide to do something with the corner. Page 2, I'm going to put these little tuck spots down that we made. These are the one that have the finished size of 2.5 inches by 3 inches. And so this one with the fold will go here on the left. And so you can put it wherever you want on yours. I'm going to kind of bring it in a little bit into the hearts here on the bottom. So it's about 1/2 inch from the left side and the bottom on this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my glue. Forgot to cut that one, but it'll be okay. I'll check the other one. So I'm going to stick it down and then burnish these sections right here. Make sure it burnishes down good. So this is going to be made where you can put a, let me cut this. I don't know why I didn't cut that on the other one, or why I didn't cut it on either one. So that's better. Okay. So this one will go over here on the same, on the opposite side. Again, about 1/2 inch from the bottom, 1/2 inch from the right side. So you want the fold out this way. So it's going to be the tuck spot for a photo mat, or whatever we want to put in there. So see, like that, you could tuck something in like that, cut apart, or a photo mat. And then we could do something different. We could like flip this corner down, I like that, and kind of fold it down. You could glue it down, or you can add flower on the flap, or whatever you want to do. So for now, I'm just going to fold it down like that, kind of like little envelopes, sort of. So that's page 2 for now, for the basic construction of page 2. And I'm going to grab page 3. That's the cover. Page 3 right here. Page 3 is going to have it's going to have these larger, let's see, stuff all mixed up. Yeah. So let's open it up and see what we got in there and see what ones we might want to put here. So it's going to have this pocket, tag pocket. Instead of making it a complete pocket this time, I'm going to make it a tuck spot and pocket, if that makes sense. Let's see, I'm trying to think how I want to do that, because I think that would be fun to have a tuck spot and a pocket at the same time. So I am going to grab some more, let's see, I have some of this over here. So I'm going to measure this, and I'll put this down on the cutting sheet that I have. And I'm going to cut a piece that is just under, so we'll go 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. So let me grab my pencil, and that is for the tag page pockets. Okay, to turn into tuck spot with pocket for the back. I'm going to cut 2 at this for each page, and again I said 2 3/8 by 3 7/8, I think I said. Yes, 3 7/8. So I've got that wrote down. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and then we'll put that on. So I've cut the 2 pieces that I need for the backs. Okay, so there's page 3, 4. This pocket's on this side, but that's okay. So open this up. We got the pretty cupids. So this one is these, and I think I want the little hearts turned out. So this is this little pocket. Tuck spot, actual tuck spot. And I'm going to put that about right there. Down so I can get it straight. And do the other one. This one's off a little bit. I must have scored it or cut it a little crooked. That's okay. I can put some kind of lace trim or something on that edge. So that's page 4. It's just a tuck spot type pocket that are 2 3/8 wide by 3 7/8 long to make this backing for this pocket. So we're going to glue it on the inside on all 3 sides. This is going to lay right in here, cover it up. Make sure it's open. So that's the way to do it. Don't put the glue all the way to the end where the opening is. Just leave it here a little bit without glue. The cut in opposite of the folds. And just slip this in here and cover it up. There, right there. Okay. Okay, so grab your page 5. Make sure we have it going the right direction. So we have these. This one will go on this side, so it opens here. I'm going to drop it down some. This one opens this way. So let's get our pencil marks so we don't go over our score lines. So remember, you just mark the two outer ones. You don't have to mark the center one. I just want to make sure we don't glue anything over that. So this is important if you want to make the tuck spot. Glue on the left side of this one and along just the bottom. So we're going to leave this open. So it goes like here. So we have the pocket. Show you. So we have the pocket here for a tag. There'll be a tag in there. Then we have a photo mat tuck spot there. So let's do the other one. So this time it's going to be on the right, on the closed short end, and then, yes, along the bottom, just on the hinge. And so then this goes right here. And now we can erase the lines. Didn't have to mark them all the way up, but since I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to put them in the center or not, I marked it. Okay, so there's that for now. And I'm going to cap my glue and then see where we're at, what we need to do next. The decorating I'm going to do with it assembled. I just wanted to get the pockets and things ready to go. So let's bring them all back together and make sure that we have everything going the right direction. So see, there's your spine parts. Okay, and then we open it up. We got it going here, we got it going there. This one is glued down, so it's not a tuck spot. And then page 2. Just checking to make sure everything's going the right direction. Page 3, page set 4, and then the last one, page set 5. Okay, so now we're going to assemble these together. Not the covers yet, just the pages. So your page 1 set, this is what's going to attach to the page. We've already got a pocket in here because we added on this piece. See that right there? My hand goes in. So this page is going to glue to this page. And I'm just going to put glue on this edge here. I'm all clogged up. This is going to seal these together. So make sure the directions are right. We're going to take this first page. See if I can show you. Open it up. And we're going to make sure it fits properly all the way around. Whoop. And I have some extra space for some reason. So I must have cut. I don't know why that always works. Must be my cutter. So there's a little bit bigger, and I just made it even so it has the top and bottom, and that's okay. I'm going to live with that, and I encourage you to do the same. So bring it out. This is the wrong way. This goes this way. Okay. What did I do? That's correct. Oh, had it turned wrong. I can confuse myself. There we go. There's the front page. It's like a puzzle. So you open it up, you have that inside, and these are attached right here. I'm going to burnish those. And I also want to make sure they're glued onto the end. So yeah, so the pocket's open. I'm just going to put a little glue right here just to seal that up. Where one was a little longer than the other. Not the pocket. You don't want to seal up your pocket. But you don't want anybody trying to pull these apart. So there's the pocket right there. Inside, there's our page. So this is the next pocket. It's going to open up at the top. Okay. So this is going to glue here. Let's see how it fits. Okay. So the glue is going to go not along the 1/4 inch, but just this part here and along the pocket. Out here, and then the page bottom. Just make sure your direction's going correct. So this one will attach here. Seal up on the side. Make sure it's straight all the way around. Now this one will have a pocket here at the top. Right there. Okay. So those are together. Okay, and the next one, we have the 2 pockets together. One's a side pocket and one is a top floating pocket. So make sure I don't put glue over the hinge or the score line. Now we're ready for our last page and pocket. So it opens here on this side. And so I'll put the glue here. And again, be careful with your 1/4 inch, that score line. This is pretty big. This one goes here. So it's the outer edge here, the cut edge, that you need to make sure you line up for your pages. Make sure I'm in frame here. Across the bottom. And the top right here. Okay. Burnish. And they are together. The pages are together. There's your little spine right there with all your papers showing. And next we'll be ready to do the covers. Now I did not ink my pages. You can go ahead and decide to ink that. I may use a light color ink and do those. So I'm going to cap my glue, and then in the next clip we will add our cover. If you want, you can Decorate your covers before you glue them on, but I think gluing them on without the decorating is the best option. Next, we're ready to add our ribbons and our covers to our pages. So you want to start off by making sure that you have the front of your album facing up. So here's your little folded spines, the way they should look. Here's your cut edges with all your pockets in there. So this is the front of the album. And I want to add ribbon. Now this is not ribbon that holds the book, but ribbon just for decorating. If you just want one piece of ribbon or two, that's fine. I'm using this from Country Craft Creations, this piece. Also, 2 pieces of this. So each one is about 12 inches long. So I'm going to use this. And also from, excuse me, Country Craft Creations, I'm using the red seam binding. So each one was cut about 12 inches long. The seam binding I spritzed with some water and wrinkled up just a little bit. Then I also cut some sheer red, sheer hot pink from my stash. So I'm going to add into that. So I'm going to have about 5 ribbons on each side. So I'm going to stack these up. I'm going to start with the widest. What I did is I took my ruler and I just measured a 3-inch mark. This is not going to show. Just measure you a 3-inch mark for the halfway point so that I know where to attach my ribbon down, because I want it to come this way. So I'm going to want it a little longer this way. I want more tail. So it's going to come out from the back of the cover where the spines are. So let's say about 1.5 inches here is where we're going to start attaching it down, and I'm going to use score tape. I'm going to attach this piece down. And I'm going to do this side all at once. Then I think I'm going to use this red one. I'm going to put some tape on that one. And I'm just kind of centering it. So that it kind of lays flat. So we have the red. Let's use the pink sheer. I'm going to put that tape. I'm going to go ahead and pull this tape off here. I think that would work better. Tape over that. Now I'm going to go ahead and plan on putting my front cover on first, and then we'll add the ribbons to the back and then add the back cover. So just want this all secured in here like this. So your ribbons are going to go out towards the spine this way. So you just have to decide which is your front cover and which one do you want for your back. I think I'm going to go with this one. Now the edge of this is going to go right up against that fold line. So you have a 1/4 inch, you have the spine. Can you see that? This fold is the spine. You have a 1/4 inch space. Then you have the fold line, the last fold line. So that's going to line up right up against that fold line, and you can feel that. So remember that your cover is 6.5 by 6.5 and your page is 6. So that, if you center it, will be approximately a 1/4 inch top and bottom, and then right up against this fold. Now to keep the glue where I want it, and so we have plenty of border here for it to not need to be covered on the inside, but I'm just going to put my line of glue right where I want it here. On the edge real quickly. You could use score tape if you wanted to. I'm going to use glue. I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to attach pretty good here. So fill in with some glue. Put some here on top of my ribbons, right here. the score tape off right quick. I should have already done that. This last one. There we go. Okay. So pay attention to your direction with the hearts facing the right direction. And I'm just going to start over here on the left. About a 1/4 inch. I have some ribbon on my thing, and let's put it down straight. Glue on my ribbon. Flip this over and give it a good burnish. So you see your wrapping has already there for you because we had plenty of room right there. So that's the first cover. So let's turn it around. We'll bring our ribbons to the right here. So we're going to lay ribbons here also. Okay. Remember, you keep your center folded. So I'm going to take my ribbons the same order. I want the pink one first. Get about the same length here. Some score tape. And there it is. So again, remember here, you've got your last score line right here. You've got the 1/4 inch space and the fold here. So we want this to be facing up, the hearts, going over these, but you want to make sure that it does not go over that 1/4 inch. So let's get our glue on here. Put a good amount of glue on this page, the back side of our page. And that's the last page, of course. Okay, grab that cover and eyeball it and make sure it stays off that fold and about a 1/4 inch from the top and the bottom. And I'm going to burnish that. And let's flip just that page. Let's bring the ribbons back so it lays flat. And remember, we have a pocket in there, so you see a little gap. But you want to, I had the wrong page I was gluing on. You want to make sure you lift it up and you burnish that page down. Wipe off any glue. Right there, we got it burnished good. Okay, so that is how you make this. Oops, this one pulled over. That glue I had on it first. Let's see. My paper a little bit, that's okay. I'm going to cover that with some trim and stuff. So we have our ribbons coming off the side. So be careful when you get glue on your ribbon. If you do, try to keep glue off of it. That's going to peel right off. There we go. So this will tie back here. And then we have this we're going to decorate. And all the inside I'm going to add, you know, fairly flat embellishments, some mats, some photo mats, some tags. I almost forgot to share the tags that go in the pages. So I've cut those. Now please excuse my voice. The past couple of days I either have allergies really bad or I caught a cold. So I haven't decided yet, but I'm taking my meds and it's actually much improved today. So I hope it doesn't sound too terribly funny and that you can understand me, but this is real quick. So I have 2 pages that load from the tag from the top, and I have 3 tags from the end. And I cut it out of the Spectrum paper by Authentique. And so I'm going to give you the measurements right quick, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to the corners. I'm going to use my scallop, and I'm going to scallop the end that sticks out, and then I'm going to corner around the ones that go inside. And I'm going to do this on all of my tags. So we have 2 that are, let's see, this one is a side load. So I have 2 of these that I cut. Actually, this is the only one, 5.5 by 5 that it sticks out. So what you have to do is you have to measure your openings, because where you put your glue may cause it to be different. So I just put the one of my ruler inside, and then I measure the height that I want. See, there's 5.5, and then I look inside and see where I glued these sleeves. So this one's going to go here. Just slide right in. And if you have to adjust it, you adjust it. And so it's going to stick out just a little bit like that with this trim here, like everything else in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do all those. I have page 1, mine was 5.5 by 5, goes into the side. The second page is a top 5 by 4. It's a little short. You can make it a little longer, but I think it'll work out fine for me. I may put a tab on it or something. Excuse me. The next page is a top one and a side one. So it has a top one the same, 5 by 4, and the side one is a 5 by 4. And then, yeah, I did have 2 of the 5.5 by 5s on this page here, 5.5 by 5. So I have 2 5.5 by 5 and 3 that I cut 5 by 4. And you just pay attention to the direction that you're putting them in as to which end you'd round and which end you use the decorative punch. So that's pretty much all of the album. It's all finished. Hopefully I can just do a quick walkthrough. I may have to just do one with just music, since I can't talk very well right now. So I'm going to thank you all for watching. Be sure to check out countrycraftcreations.com for your scrapbooking supplies. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Click the bell so that you'll be notified of my next project. I will be making some more Valentine things, hopefully this week, real quick, real simple things. I'm not sure if there'll be video tutorials or not on those, so we'll see. They just may be shares of what I made with this same paper collection, which is by Authentique, called Love Notes. Thanks again. Bye-bye.